Twin Oaks Family Farm, we're ready for chicks. We're ready for it to be go time again. But if you can believe it, about 5 years, this is probably about our 5th year raising Cornish Rock cross meat chickens. The first couple years we didn't raise a lot of them. We raised very small groups and trying to get the feel for how do you do this, how do you do it well, how do you improve what you're doing. And some of those early birds we actually did all the butchering and processing on as well. So we did smaller flocks in the beginning. Last year, 2023, I think we raised about 1,250 birds for 2023. So this year we expanded a little. We're scheduled for the whole year for 1,650 birds. So it's a lot to take on, but if we can stay focused on one step at a time, we're going to get through it. So we're going to stay determined. And we've got this 425 coming in. But it's what I was thinking, was trying to get said was, if you can believe it, even with having what I think is a lot of experience, several years, a lot of birds, we've had experience raising these Cornish Rock cross meat chickens in the system we're raising. Even with that experience, like with a 2-week break, we've been 2 weeks since having birds here, and you feel rusty. You feel like, oh, are we doing everything right? So it's kind of intimidating, even with having experience, if you can believe it. So if you are wanting to raise these and you don't have experience, I can totally relate to it being intimidating, but it can be done. And you might see something on a scale that's bigger than you want to do. Well, just scale it down. If you want to raise 50 birds, if you want to raise 25 birds, you can do that. And you just, you can watch YouTube videos from all kinds of producers and farmers, and you can talk to people in your local area. But you can take whatever practices you see that would work in your setup and with your resources, and you don't have to raise flocks of 100 or more. You can scale it down to what you want to raise. So like our household of 5, we figured up one time, maybe if we had 60 chickens for a whole calendar year, that would be enough for us. We could probably use 100 just for our household. But if that's what we wanted to do, instead of raising them for direct marketing in our local area, we would take all these same things that we do and we would just scale it all back to whatever size flock we want to bring in. If we want to do 1 flock of 100 or 2 flocks of 50, we would just take all of this knowledge and information and we would just scale it back to that size. And so like when we want to do 400, like we have coming in, we take all of our reference points from 100 birds and we scale it up times 4. So it definitely can be done. So if you're wanting to raise meat birds, those are the considerations I'd start with. Take into consideration the ending, have that planned, have the processing date planned, have the processing procedure, whether you're going to do that or have it sourced out, have that planned. And if you're sourcing it out, have it scheduled, because poultry producers book up in advance. So have the end in mind, have an appropriate space for them, and you can have a separate brooder and then move them into their growing and finishing space. Or you can do like we are doing, if you have a space that you can start them, kind of confined into a small part of that space, and then like we'll be able to take this wall away and they can expand into the whole space, you can do that. But have your space for them, have some absorbent cushiony bedding for them, have some targeted warmth available as needed for them, have water supply and keep it fresh, keep it always supplied, have feeders and feed supply ready to go, and that's what you need to get started with a flock of meat birds, Cornish Rock cross meat chickens. So I'm going to finish getting their waters filled and down on the floor, and we're just waiting for the call that our birds are here and that it's time to go again. So that's what you need to get started with the meat birds. And just like we're saying, it's go time again. If you are going to raise meat birds and you get those things in order, you'll be ready to say it's go time. Start with the end in mind. Count back from the processing day to get your hatch day or your start day. And we do order our chicks from hatchery every flock, but you can probably go to farm supply stores and get chicks. But plan ahead for it. And with meat birds especially, have the processing scheduled or on your calendar if you're processing them yourselves. But you can do it. So follow along with us at Twin Oaks Farm Poultry on raising Cornish Rock cross meat chickens. Ask questions in the comments if you have any. We try to answer every comment, and we'll try to answer all your questions. If we have experience with it, we'll share that with you. And if we don't, we'll try to look up some information for you and give you some leads on things you can research. So almost go time again, and we will fill y'all in on getting the flock started. So kind of rusty on the YouTube videos too, but we'll get back in the swing of things. We went to the Outer Banks of North Carolina for a little family vacation. So Chicken Mafia of Southeast Ohio went coastal, and we had a really good time, but we're ready to roll with meat birds again. So God bless y'all, and please support local agriculture wherever local is for you. Source your food from farms and producers as much